At Christmas time, the other railway sends a Christmas tree to Sodor. Each year it stands on the platform at Tidmouth Station, and people sing carols around it, and the town band plays. A week before Christmas, Thomas was at the big station with Annie and Clarabel. The Fat Controller was arranging the carol party. "You'll all have jobs to do," he said. "Thomas, I want you to fetch the tree. Gordon will bring the mare, and Henry will be in charge of cards, letters, and parcels." "Will we be able to sing carols too?" asked Thomas. "We'll see," promised the Fat Controller. "Oh, it would be nice to sing carols again," sighed Thomas. 2 days before Christmas, the Fat Controller came to see Thomas. "It's time for you to fetch the tree, Thomas. Doc will look after Annie and Clarabel until you get back." Thomas was excited, but Gordon and Henry were jealous. "Why should Thomas go?" grumbled Henry. "He can't do anything a splendid green engine like me couldn't do." "Nor me," huffed Gordon. "Anyone would think you were special or something." The other engines waited for Thomas to return. They waited and waited. They were still waiting the next morning. "Perhaps he's stuck in a tunnel somewhere," suggested Gordon. Henry let off steam indignantly. "Pooh!" he retorted. "He's much more likely to have been turned onto a branch line." "He could have run into a queue," snickered Donald. "He's done nothing of the kind," interrupted a well-known voice. "There has been a heavy snowfall, and he seems to be stranded somewhere near Edward's station." "We're not going to leave him there, are we?" asked Douglas. "Certainly not," replied the Fat Controller. "I need 2 volunteers." The noise was deafening. At last, Donald and Douglas were coupled back to back with a van between them and a snowplough at each end. Cold, but confident, they set out to the rescue. At the junction they met Toby, Percy and Duck, who told them that the Fat Controller had cancelled all trains and ordered all engines that could to try and reach Tidmouth. Donald and Douglas puffed bravely on, but the snow was getting thicker now. They struggled through Edward's station. Donald wanted to stop for a rest, but Douglas wouldn't let him. "What if Thomas is lying hurt somewhere?" Great drifts of snow lay across Gordon's Hill. Again and again they forced the snowplough into the snow, each time moving slowly forward. Then they drew back and paused for breath. "Shh!" said Douglas suddenly. "I can hear something." Very faintly came a muffled cry for help. "It's Thomas!" exclaimed Donald. "I told ye," said Douglas. "Come on, let's get him out. He must be frozen to the frames in there." Before long, Edward and James arrived with more help. The men climbed out of their van and set to work, and Thomas was soon clear of the snow. Edward and James pulled Thomas and the precious Christmas tree back to a crossover, and Donald and Douglas helped him back to Tidmouth along the line they had already cleared. The engines were met with a rapturous welcome when they all finally reached Tidmouth. "Well done," said the Fat Controller. "You've all been splendid." The Christmas tree was quickly unloaded, put into its tub, and decorated just in time for the people arriving at the station for the party. "And as a reward for all your hard work, you may stay and enjoy the carols," the Fat Controller told the engines. James was so pleased that he let off steam suddenly. "Whoosh!" The Fat Controller paused. "But remember, this is a special occasion. Please be on your best behaviour, and I want no, wheeshing." James blushed and looked at his buffers. 1, 2, 3, boomed the Fat Controller. Suddenly, like magic, the station was flooded with light. "Ladies, gentlemen, and children, I give you 3 cheers for Thomas the Tank Engine and all his friends who have made this occasion possible." As the cheers died away, there was a strange whirring sound. It seemed to be coming from the sky. Everyone looked up, and Percy and Toby smiled. They knew who it was. With a landing light shining brightly, Harold the helicopter touched down gently in the snow, and out stepped a figure wearing a red cloak and hood. It was Father Christmas! Everyone cheered as Father Christmas gave out presents to the children, and the carol party began. Then Father Christmas thanked James and the other engines for rescuing Thomas. Everyone had a marvellous time. Afterwards, Thomas and Percy went back to the shed together. "It's no fun getting stuck in the snow," whispered Thomas to Percy, "but it was worth it for the party. Happy Christmas, Percy! Happy Christmas, everyone!"